supramental and all, is this the same as what now we say is Allah or God or the Creator? Is this all the same?
Yeah, we name it in different ways in different religions, definitely. We call them Allah or Godfather or the Creator or Yahweh, Jehovah, and so on and so forth. We give different names because how else would we speak about that transcendental being, transcendental, unborn being, consciousness and bliss? How would you name it? It's only in Indian tradition they name it so beautifully, so impersonally. Sat Chit Ananda, being, consciousness and bliss. How else would you speak about him?
So out of all this came religions.
Yeah, religions are the mental creations, of course, which have an insight or have some kind of connection, some glimpse, some truth they discovered, and they put it into the mental language applicable to human beings that they should understand. No? It's quite reasonable.
I meditate and I say Aham Brahm, that means I am God, and I go against that. I don't.
There is no God. Brahma is not God. There is no God in Sanskrit. God, Deva, the word which we translate as God, means luminous being.
So, energy.
Yeah, energy, consciousness, energy full of consciousness. Yeah.
So I am that.
You are definitely that.
I'm not only conscious myself, I'm all of it.
All of it.
As long as we're conscious.
Does it make sense to you, this double creation? It explains why this world is so complex. Because we never could figure out why we are at the same time so conscious and so, full of faith and aspiration for the highest, and at the same time we are so dull, tamasic, down to earth, losing faith, losing everything, losing health, dying, praying for help. We are constantly in between these two opposites, moving gradually from one to another, seeking to embody something which is within us, to bring it forward, to bring it to the front, to the surface of our being. We want to be perfect outside, but we do not know how to do it. And we try our best in all ways possible.
Would you say that when I say, or any of us say, I am all this, that we have to take some care which I is saying that?
Yes.
We have some leaders around the planet who are saying, I am the only one, I can save you all, I am the one. And that may be a problem which I is saying.
Yeah, well, people will find problem in every statement because we are using language. And language are saying that, he's the only son of God may create a lot of problems. Why and how? And what about other sons of God?
But that's what you just finished saying. They went and they said they fell from that with the four truths.
Right.
So those people are falling to the same thing.
We all are fallen. We all took on ourselves this fallen being. This is it. This is this unconscious being which becomes more and more conscious because of our work of consciousness within. We are constantly evolving. We are growing in consciousness and changing the body because the body has to embody the spirit. The body dies because it cannot stay in unison with the spirit. Spirit is faster. It's pure. It's more energetic. It's more true in every moment, and we are holding the past. We are holding this, very heavy burden of unregenerated dark being and trying to manage with it somehow. With this consciousness we have.
If I believe in reincarnation, who decides as what am I coming back as who?
You decide.
But
It's your decision. You don't know now in this body where we took on ourselves this burden of darkness. Here, very little is known. It's just through our mind, through whatever we gained, through whatever our brain, we created certain capacities and certain languages by which we operate. But truly speaking, if you move out of this framework into another framework, you will know. And you will see that it is your decision and nobody's else.
Just love that idea that each of our individual spiritual journey is about redeeming those original four powers that fell.
Right.
It's all, connected from the beginning. We're still in that cycle
Yes.
of redemption and fall. And I love what you said about that we are all, as we look at each other, we are all the divine seeing itself in greater detail. We are all that joy and manifestation. We are all about that increase in the light.
That's what he wanted. He wanted to be many. He wanted to meet himself in another look, in another unique presentation, in another unique character, which is always a surprise for him in a way, because he's infinite being. You look at this world, physical world, you will find that nothing here repeats itself. There are no repetitions. There are no clonings. You cannot find the same fingerprint anywhere. You cannot find the same pebbles on the shore. You cannot find the same leaves on the trees. Never. What is this? Infinite variety. Infinity incarnate. Incredible that infinite being comes to us in such a marvelous creation. And we are talking about suffering.
We're talking about fear of difference instead of that joy.
Right. Enjoying the difference. He enjoys the difference, the infinity of his, all the details, all the aspects of himself, of his infinite being are now available to us.
A few weeks ago, there's an online group called Nextdoor.com where people go on and they find plumbers and doctors and dentists. Every few months, someone comes on, mentions something political or religious, and this fight breaks out. So we started, last week we asked them to start a dialogue group. And what's tricky is that there's two things that happen. Some people are like, oh yes, yes, we're all one, yes, yes, and we just ignore the difference. Other people say, no, I won't do dialogue, I'm different, I'm better than you. So what I keep seeing is what we're challenging is e pluribus unum, out of one, many, but we have both. And this I keep seeing as we're sort of struggling. How do we bring this dialogue together, recognizing what we have in common, what we have where we're one, and yet celebrating the difference too. This is very, very hard to do.
Hard to do and very important to recognize that difference, to really celebrate the difference, to enjoy and rejoice that we are different, and the difference is appealing to us as delight.
Yeah, I just had a thought. We're in Asheville, so it's a very progressive area. And one woman said, I'm not going to any group of this pro-Trump people. And someone wrote me and said, I won't be in a group because I'm afraid they'll be, anti. I said, please, I want you all to be, please, everyone be in the group. So we already have fighting.
Yes, he wanted to say something. No?
No, it was passing. Yeah.
Just remember that line from Savitri, the opulent beauty of passionate difference.
So in the Veda they have this, they presume, it's quite interesting, if you read Vedic texts, the Rig Veda, you will see that they presume oneness and they are looking for difference. They celebrate the difference, they want it. We are presuming difference and looking for oneness. We are evolving, so to say. We know that we are all different, but we want to be one. That's our evolutionary movement. But both are to be there. You wanted to say something, no?
I just Let's hope everybody
No,
knows
no,
that.
that's sorry. I meant to.
This desire to be the best and be the best me that I understand, and then this knowing that is part of my evolution, and then to come to a place of I am already that, and there is no striving for or trying for or altering, or that they both exist. That my divinity exists as well as my humanness.
Mhm. This humanness is slowly growing into the divinity humanness. It won't stay human so long. It will change and it will become the best human you can be. That uniqueness of yours will be embodied in that what he wanted to be. And by the way, what you say, there is a question always, is there the end of this evolution? If you realize the supermind, you realize your unborn self, you realize your inborn self, then what? What is next? And so you become the immortal being, and then is there evolution still to go on? And Sri Aurobindo says, yes, there is always something to learn from the infinity. There will be an evolution from light to greater light. Not from darkness to light, but from light to greater light. And this is something we can't conceive of now, but it is waiting for us in the future.
Most of this thing about the happiness, the striving, isn't it all ultimately a kind of a mental exercise?
I think so. You're right.
And the mental exercise can only take you so far.
Absolutely. It has a limit.
Yeah.
By the way, Mother answers to your very beautifully. She says, we are here on earth not to seek happiness. We are here to seek the divine. And that brings us happiness. If we are seeking happiness without the divine, that's what happens to us nowadays. It doesn't come so easily. The divine, the highest in us, the most pure, the most conscious in us, that's what we are looking for. And that brings happiness. Of course, through struggle.
Where does intuitiveness come in this? You know, certain things you just realize it intuitively.
This is your inner being, which is calling for the innermost kind of insight. And you get, by the way, you are calling to something higher within you, and that higher within you answers to you who is calling within you. And you receive the answer. We are always calling for we are always having a question. Once we have a question, that's why it's so much more important to have a question than the answer. Once you have a question, answer will come again and again, and it will rebuild your being. You will get your answers. But the quest is more important.
But when the answer comes, we are also conditioned to think of things logically, to understand it, you know.
Yes, yes.
So then it dissipates. That flash goes away.
Absolutely.
And then the mind takes over. And then it all becomes, you know, an exercise.
Absolutely. You're speaking in the way how Sri Aurobindo explains this thing, exactly the same way. When the intuition comes, when the flash, the insight, the aha, then our mind starts working, catching everything, you know, putting it, appropriating it, making its own property, putting into its pockets, selling it out, buying it in. All the time it starts doing something out of it. And that insight, that fresh consciousness somehow disappears into this grey zone of the mind. Yes?
We meet every June at the University of Furman, and pretty soon we'll be here. And my feeling is, like you said, for these 3 days you're so into it, you understand it, you're with everything. And then you go home, and it takes a little while, and you forget. You have to look at it all the time.
Erika speaks about our yearly gathering in Furman University for 3-4 days, which is very intense, from morning till evening, with many beautiful talks and expositions. You become kind of totally one with that consciousness, and then you go home and slowly, the grey stuff takes over.
We all cry and hug when we leave. We're going to miss each other. And like you said, you try to, I have the Savitri, you read it, and you try to think this way. But there are not many people who think like we do.
Well, I think they are looking for this thinking, like we do. It will come in one form or another. Yes, please.
I was going to say about intuition, it's a really interesting man. He's a scientist. Actually, his name is Arthur Zients. Actually, he was a physicist. And he went around the world and interviewed scientists about their process. When he first asked them, they all say, oh, it's very logical, it's very analytical. But then he spent time with them and said, well, describe to me what you do. He said, every person who made a great discovery, without exception, they all had this moment of opening. The mind went quiet, their heart opened, they were silent, they just saw, whether it's neuroscience, biology. He said, we all have moments throughout the day, talking to a dear friend, some people play sports, they play music, they study Sanskrit, but we have moments we miss throughout the day where intuition is like, please listen to me up here. We don't ignore it.
Absolutely. Even Mother says that there is a constant rain of this golden rain coming down, and you don't even notice it. It's once in a while when we are quiet, suddenly, oh, look at this. Or when we have a strong quest, especially with scientists, as you mentioned, like, for example, Mendeleev. Mendeleev, all his life, he tried to find the chemical, table. He created the chemical table of all the elements, put them into place. And he was struggling and couldn't make it. And then one time in the dream, he saw it. He saw as it was. He woke up and he just made the table. That's how we got it.
Right.
Not from this world.
Pierre Bendot has a great line where he says that he was talking to a poet. You think that you thought of this? He said, in between the hammer and coming down the nail of your mind, the intuition slips in between the hammer and the nail.
When you were having an idea why, in between the intuition came in. So
I think in the evolutionary process, the reasoning mind will be replaced by intuition mind. And that's the gradation of mind that Sri Aurobindo talks about. That's the part of evolution. So you can see the children represented there today. They intuitively can operate without direction, reading the direction of a gadgets. You can see very vividly. You give them, they intuitively operate. They never seen in their life the toy that they know how to operate. That's manifestation of intuition that is working through the consciousness.
And we give them medication and call them ADHD.
Or they send them to school and search it.
Right.
So we are still evolving.
Yeah, we are. And we will be evolving.
And the question of are we evolving? Are we truly evolving? I mean, there are pockets of people who sit and meditate and do these kinds of things. But you just have to turn on the news.
Well, that's your
And,
problem.
and this is a question that I have for very many people. Are we truly, as a race, are we evolving?
This is a good question. By the way, we can see if you come to the next session, if we will come to this first evolution of from the physical, what is vital according to Sri Aurobindo. And these forces are actually colonizing us. Yeah? We are open to all these ocean of universal forces, and there are many energies which are traveling through us, forming within ourselves their expressions possessing us. We are possessed by many forces. We are also in the mind, we are very dogmatic. We are already brainwashed. We think in one way or one particular way. We do not know how to think freely, openly, how to be creative. We are kind of framed in a particular way by society and ways of thinking and language. So, of course, these forms will emerge sooner rather than later. And you can see them on TV. You can see all these forces taking over. If you watch Russian TV, you will be shocked what is happening there. It's not your TV. Your TV is really good. Yeah. Trump is an angel in comparison to what is going on Russian TV. What kind of pain and nonsense and falsehood is beaming onto the people, destroying people's minds. And it is happening. It's not people, it's forces. They just opened up to these forces and allowed them to come. Please.
No, like the lady was saying about the cup that's half full and half empty. These kind of things have been happening forever.
Yeah.
And it's, I think compared to maybe like, I don't know, 500, 600 years, I think we have evolved. I mean, there are more structures.
We evolved quite a bit. Also,
As a race, as a human
Sure.
race, I think there are certain things that we used to do just because everybody did it. But now with more information, with more access and education or conditioning, people are little more in control.
of course.
More people are controlled. Before, more people were free, and human nature being what it is, not everybody is very. There are so many, good personalities, evil, bad personalities.
And by the way, all is in us. All this is in us, in myself. There is a good person and bad person at the same time. Why I'm rejecting something when I see something wrong happening? Because it is within me. It pains me. I would never react to something if it would be not part of myself. And this is
But
how...
your reactions have changed. Supposing you were a person, say 300 years ago, your reaction would have been different
Definitely.
compared to 2019,
Yeah.
where society says, hey, don't react like that, we'll put you in jail if you do that.
Yes, yes.
So in that way, I think as a species, we've become a little better.
We move in that direction. I agree with you. I don't see that we...
Maybe not in a spiritual way, but at least in a physical way.
In the physical and spiritual also, in every way, we become much more open and much more subtle, and much more educated. We can use also internet. Internet is a huge, source for information, also disinformation, and it is used by the forces of vital. That is what is happening on TV. But at the same time, you can choose. It's up to you. Use your brain. And so you can select what you believe in.
But that's not something new. I mean, people always had a choice to choose.
Yeah. Well, information was much less. Information was closed. So to say, it was only for the privileged. But now information is available. You can find everything.
But information is also a double-edged sword.
Exactly.
You know?
Disinformation can be also part of
What
it.
is the latest thing? Fake news.
Fake news.
So the information also is suspect.
People are selling likes for Facebook and they are buying likes. There is an advertisement. I would like to buy 5,000 likes, and I will pay so much. So somebody sits and makes these likes. It's unbelievable what is happening on the internet. What kind of and these trolls, trolls, these fake answers to you, because there is the whole group of people politically having something in mind. They're choosing a specific topic, and then they either uplift you as it was with Trump, or they put you down as it is with other candidates. And
No,
this is
but even when it comes to things that we all use in our everyday life, it's a lot of it we get those things because of marketing.
right.
You know,
Money is
there
involved.
there's so many things in the medical profession that they put out as truth. And then after many years, it comes out that no, that was all marketing. It's really not that way. Like, for example, there was this whole thing about coconut oil being very bad.
Really? I never been through that stage. Coconut oil cannot be
That
bad.
it would cause blockage in your arteries, or you get a heart
Oh, yeah,
attack.
yeah.
Or a-
Cholesterol.
Yes. Now they've debunked, and the people are putting coconut oil in the coffee and drinking it first thing in the morning. And
We heard many stories. Chocolate was bad, then it was good, then it became bad again, then it became good again. Good for brain development.
now it's about talcum powder causes cancer.
Who?
Talcum powder.
Talcum powder, okay, they are attacking this major medicine.
So
medicine.
again, it's all, like information and so-called knowledge,
Yes,
new knowledge.
disinformation.
But again,
We have, of course, we will be open to this because these forces would like to use such a powerful tool to influence others. Yeah?
but in those days, if people were doing things intuitively. They would watch creatures in the forest. Like a
Yeah.
lot of the yoga asanas are based on animal movements.
Yeah.
How the tiger came or the snake or whatever it is.
Well,
They would pick up
in
on
Chinese,
things.
yes, mostly.
Yes.
And do you know what the most successful diet has been in the last 5 years? They discovered if you teach people to be mindful and to be intuitive, it's better than anything any scientist can come up with what you do for your body. And people are learning this, to use intuition for something as basic as eating.
And
What you were saying was right, we're moving from reason to
now
intuition.
they're promoting fasting.
Yes.
Don't eat so much. It's not necessary to eat
Right.
all the time. Every day, please.
But don't do that with your mind. Use the intuition. You'll get yourself in trouble. Be sure you're intuitively in tune with what you need.
So what did, yeah?
It's interesting, just listen to all that. The light that you talk about, that emanating from down in the emanations, was it?
Involution
Yeah,
is
that
preceding
was-
the evolution.
That was the intuition. It got here, and then our mind becomes the
Exactly.
all-knowing and tells
Yes.
you, and we stop listening to the intuition, and we go listen to the gray matter. It steers us wrong, because of everything else we're paying attention to. If we would just listen to the light of the intuition that's coming into us.
Right. That involutionary ladder, one second. Involutionary ladder is still there. It is supporting our ascent. We are ascending and it is supporting us. The moment we get intuition, it is involutionary staying there and supports our evolutionary discovery. So that match between evolutionary growth and involutionary support is actually when we get this moment of, aha, now I got it. Now I recognized it. I know what it is. So that's how we are climbing up the ladder of the evolution. Yes.
Well, I was just going to say, it's not only the mind that's hijacking that intuition, but even worse, we get our desire self, right?
Right.
Our vital, our everyday desires that are overtaking it, it doesn't even have life in it, that's hijacking it. So it's hard to get that pure, as easy as it may sound, to get an unmixed intuition in that moment that it flashes. It's very hard because we've got all these forces in between that are trying to override or interpret or look out for itself.
It's that, goes back to the very beginning. We made the mistake of going away from the emanations and thinking we could do it better.
You forgot.
Right.
And the desire of master rays, I've received the message from God that I should do the chocolate cake diet.
Ice cream before
You
bed.
lost it all.
Right.
I totally lost.
Actually, desire is a part of life. So, and Sevilla talks about vital mind to justify the desire.
Yeah.
But this is all a very human activity, this whole thing. I mean,
But you can
Knowledge.
change. You can change.
But what is human? If you look at human, it's a miracle in itself. Look at this piece of matter sitting in front of you, looking at you. talking to you.
I
Something
see
which is
miracles
far
in-
beyond, far deep within, with the light, which inspires, which brings to you some state of peace or bliss. Where is this a human? What we consider to be human, it's a very unclear thing. We are not what we see.
But there are so many more things that are even more fabulous than the human being.
Why to compare? They are as fabulous as human beings. Yeah,
Yes.
those
So
animals.
it's not like this whole thing about spirituality, attaining a state of Satchidananda, all this stuff is only the human beings think like this.
Yeah.
But who's to say that this is the greatest thing to think? There are so many things that happen around not just the earth, but in the universe, which is all controlled,
Sure.
and it just goes on. There is no reason, there is no explanation. It is what it is.
Yes.
But people want something to target and say, okay, now we have to reach a certain level so that we are not having all
It's the
these
mind.
disturbances.
But look at this. Don't you want to know who you are?
Sometimes it's fearful.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
whatever
so-
it is. Maybe some people don't want to know who they are. Maybe it's not time yet to know that. But for some, it's already time. I would love to know who I am. And I would love to discover
But
that.
then what gets you to that point? Okay, so you want to know who you are, and at some time, maybe not this birth, next birth, whatever birth, you attain that level where you know who you are, and you've reached your satisfaction level.
You want to speak in the future terms.
If you can realize who you are in this lifetime,
Something
that's
in
wonderful.
me is looking for it, searching for it. It's like a fire burning upward, and I do not know why it is there. I can't explain to you why that urge is there, why I spoke about this today. Why did I make this presentation to you? What do I want with this? I want us to understand who we are.
But it's a never-ending story.
Well,
Because the story keeps
But that is
going
also
through
a
genetics
driving
and
force, right?
it's never ending, and at the same time there are stages of development, of understanding, of recovery, of something inner within us, recognition. I recognize, that's what I am. I always thought from my childhood, and now I get it. There was always, hidden desire in me to know this, and now I see it. This, for what I was presenting today, for me was a revelation. I understood why we are so complex, why we have both inner conscious and outer unconscious being, and how they relate, and what they do together here, what is to be done, where we are heading at. Are we moving somewhere forward, or we are just staying? No, we are flying with a huge speed, and the speed of our of Earth rotating around the sun, and sun around the galaxy, and galaxy in the cosmos, and cosmos expanding. We are flying with 1 million kilometers per hour. We are never covering the same space. Can you imagine that? We are never in the same space ever. We are never the same being. We are always new, fresh. What is this? Where we are moving? What will happen to us? Speaking from physical point of view.
And that's
From
where letting go comes in, and that fear of letting go.
There is something in us which is moving this forward. And we are moving with this forward. There is an inner will in us, divine will, the fire, which burns, which seeks this knowledge, which wants this delight, the divine delight to be here, part of our living. And we are looking for it.
This knowledge, and you said, we reincarnate, we come back infinite amount of times. So with that said, all of us have all of the knowledge, but from within. And it's like there's 4 levels of learning. The first level of learning is unconscious incompetence. I don't know what I don't know. So we're all on a journey. And the next level is conscious incompetence. I know what I don't know, right? And then the next level is competence. Now I have to really focus and concentrate on what I need to know, and then unconscious competence, which is like riding a bike. I don't even need to think about it anymore. So it's about the yoga science and all the external factors trying to deviate us, the emotion and everything else, and finding the truth within ourselves and going towards the truth. And some people say that the bliss is ahava, right? Is love.
It's a love.
It's love, right? And looking at all the individuals about Trump, right? And if we look at those individuals, we manifest everything in mind, right? And we create our own reality to some degree, right? So if we look at the people that don't agree on what we agree, and we look at them as our greatest teacher. And those are projections of what our parts are, and take that in as those are our greatest teachers, and this is teaching me what not to be for my soul. So that is maybe an approach.
Very nice. Very
And we
nice.
chose to be here at this time, in this body, on the planet.
So we have one knowledge. Actually, we can build all the elements around one understanding of this evolutionary process. We are evolving beings. As Sri Aurobindo says, man is the transitional being. It's not the final say in nature. We are the ever-advancing pilgrim, as the Veda says. Man is the ever-advancing pilgrim. We are on the way. We are meeting our future now. We are evolving to the higher levels of consciousness within ourselves. And outside, the changes are taking place. There will be resistance. There are forms which resist this change. They want to sustain themselves. They want to be unchanged, especially vital vibrations, which possess the world. Greed, fear, power, abuse. These are the forms which possess man, and through man possess the world. They don't want this light. They don't want oneness and happiness of diversity. And they create all these disasters, from the TV also, and from...
And we can see in ourselves, and if we criticize that, we see, don't we like drama? When we create a little argument, friend, we sort of like the drama. We say, well, if we're going to complain about the world, what are we doing when we create those drama? We're all drama queens in some moments.
Right.
Well, nature is a drama queen too.
Absolutely.
I mean, there
It's
are
the
things
biggest
that
drama
happen
queen.
in nature that cause a lot of suffering to people.
Absolutely.
And nobody really causes that, it just happens,
Yeah,
you know.
I agree with you.
So you can say, oh, the oceans are evil, they are swallowing up these villages or these islands or whatever. But it's not so.
No.
I don't think the ocean has some
Intention.
devious plan to
No.
eat up all this land.
I think that one of the problems we have, well, of course, if you are not spiritual at all, and you just run around all day long, it's noisy and it's loud, and you have no time to listen to your inside, what's coming from your soul. You have to have some time during the day, evening, whatever, and meditate a little bit, and listen to the voice that comes in, the voice of the Creator, the voice of the Spirit, the voice of an angel, whatever you think. Just listen to it. And then you think differently. I don't go by diets. I don't listen to these people. Let them do what they want to do. I do what I want to do. Which is good for me. It's my gut feeling. Maybe it's not a good feeling, but it's my gut feeling. And we have to listen to the energy that comes into us.
We have to learn to distinguish different voices. There are
That's
many
right.
voices.
So you say that.
Otherwise, the voices, all kinds of voices may come in, and say to you, I'm yourself. And just open up, and you open up, and then you're possessed by some force, and you don't know who you are anymore. And then you go to the mental hospital and try to get some pills. But we have to learn about ourselves. It's our journey to learn all this about the levels of consciousness and being. And that's the primary aim of this seminar, just to start looking into ourselves more consciously, what we are made of, different reactions, different energies, thoughts, feelings, emotions, sensations of our own and mixed type, coming from outside, coming from within, coming from above. We have to start learning about ourselves. It's a long journey and very beautiful.
One thing I've noticed with myself is, she was talking about let the energy, the spirit or whatever come in. Most of the time, I feel personally, I have to unlearn things that are in my head. Because this is all secondhand, it's thought, stuff that happened when I was a child, when I was growing up, yesterday, imagining what might happen tomorrow. These are all things that are based on my memories, on my experiences. I have unlearned those things to make me receive something that is outside of my experience.
Very nice word,
Otherwise,
unlearning.
That's what is there.
Yeah, there is the whole university which is called Multiversity in India. The main principle is to unlearn. Once you unlearn, you start learning finally.
So unless you're conscious of what you're striving for, unlearning these things, it's so ingrained in our personality, it's very difficult to shake it off.
The definition of the Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha is exactly of this kind. As you have to stop the work of Chitta. And what is Chitta? Is memory, dogmas, everything you inherited, all your experiences, they're determining your answers. The moment you want to have an answer, it's ready-made. Just have it.
And there are multiple answers from different ideas.
Yeah, you got them, you stored them, it's all in your memory, in the memory of human kind, and you just draw from there, and it comes, pops in, and just the answer, you get the answers. But because of these answers, you do not see yourself. Because these are the formations which are made in the past, which are made from the previous experiences, and you do not have fresh perception of yourself.
Epigenetics overcoming here.
For the intuitiveness to come.
Yes, we have to be open. We have to open these windows, as it was said by Dawn, with hammering of mind in between. With this hit on the nail, the intuition sneaks in, and finally you get something.
But we can think of the intuition as something very deep, to silence the mind, unlearn the intuition, something else. But Sri Aurobindo also talks about transforming the mind. So I was just thinking, many years ago I studied with a teacher who never taught scales, no theory, everything was intuitive. And then I entered a program where I had to, for the audition, play scales in our pants. He said, he said, we must make scales every moment so beautiful and so unique, like you'll never know what note you're coming, like you're improvising. So rather than getting rid of the reason, one way is just with devotion, go into your heart, go into silence. Another way is change how you use the mind. The mind becomes intuitive and analytic all at the same time. So you can do both.
I think what you learn as a child has a lot to do with the way you feel now. I grew up in Germany during the war. I remember everything. I remember who was good to me. I remember who fed me. I remember who was nasty. You remember this all the time. And I fought all my life. I was pushing. I was always pushing. Until I got older, until I listened to you, until I listened to Shatalu, and I started pushing. This is not anymore. It is not in. I'm a different person now. I'm a happier person. I'm a calmer person. What was. But I learned from it. I learned to fight it, to stop it, to be a pushy person. And I went to a church, an African-American church, and the ministers of Franciscan friar. And one Sunday after, I was there alone, and I said to him, Father, you stepped all over me today. He looked at me and he said, what do you mean? I don't like to do that. Tell me. I said, well, I'm the German, and I thought I was right all the time. And you really took it out of me today. You made me think I'm not right all the time. I have to think about it. And it hung on, it stuck with me. Just like when I go to the firm, and I've been going for 10 years. You'll learn an awful lot. you can change your mind. You can take all the bad things out of your thinking. It comes back. God forbid, I'm not perfect. I told somebody the other day, Albert Einstein was born in my hometown, and we always say we stand on the shoulders of others. Well, I'm standing on his shoulders. I didn't learn very much. I'm not a, math is horrible to me, science is horrible, but I can think.
For yourself.
I can think.
It's very good.
Very
Which itself is an achievement. Most people can't.
That's true. This is probably why we have to watch out what we teach our children, what we do with them. Because if you put them in cages, they will never forget that. Never.
We can't put them into cages anymore. That's done. They are free, and we will not drag them down to these cages. You can see they are totally the new generation. They would put us into coffins. Not cages.
They have the cages in their hands now.
Did you say that this was the first of this
Yes.
series?
I wanted us to see how we came to this stage, that we have both in us. We have to see those two stages clearly and think about it, contemplate. We have to really see this beautiful creation and the meaning and the aim of it. And then everything will be justified. There will be nothing to reject. There will be everything to accept and to deal with in a new fashion, in a new manner. This is what was the aim of this presentation. For me, it was a revelation. It changed my mind. I read differently Savitri from now on. I read differently Rig Veda. I see it everywhere. It's hidden there. They speak about it everywhere. But you can't see it until you make your mind. You see it from the beginning, kind of, in this mother's easy stories for children. And you get it. Oh, that's how we are double. That's what our nature, outer and inner, are doing together. What we are here to transform, what we are here to bring forward. What is evolution? Why evolution is taking place? Also, we never knew why evolution is taking place. Nobody could explain this, why we are evolving. There is no answer to it, only in this evolution, because it came down and it wants to bring back all these fallen emanations back to its self-awareness through us, through our embodiment. We took it onto ourselves as our bodies, and we are dealing with it directly. As Mother says, we are given all the material, our physical body, vital, mental. It is your property, deal with it. This is your transformation. This is your first responsibility. Not to deal with others, not to tell others what to do. Deal with yourself first. Change yourself, and then you change the world. You cannot change anything. You can become only a hypocrite, coming around telling others what to do when you didn't do it.
There's an old biblical thing that's be the light, don't shine the light.
Exactly. You know, with Gandhiji, there was an interesting story about Gandhiji in this case. Somebody came to him and mother with his son and said, "You tell my..." Yeah, so it was your story, yes? No, don't notice. So there was, and he said, okay, he listened to her and she said, he eats a lot of sweets. Can you tell him not to eat? He said, okay, come after 2 months. And she comes after 2 months with her son, and he told him, don't eat sweets. She's surprised, why didn't you tell first time? I was eating sweets, so I had to stop. So in 2 months he stopped eating sweets, and he could tell him, this is the way we have to take. We can't really tell others what to be unless we really do it. Or something in us aspires. We love this vision, this beauty, light, knowledge. And that is also a very good guide.
You know, one thing I've noticed as a parent, you tell, at least we've been telling our kids, this, whatever. And it doesn't register. And now our children are grown adults and they're realizing it for themselves. And they're telling us, oh, you know, it's this. We're like, but we've been telling you this since we were children. Now you're telling it to us.
This is
So-
a big
so
difference to
there's
discover.
always I believe that there's a time and a place for everything.
Absolutely.
And
Very nice.
we can talk and think, but unless it's that moment for you, that
Yes.
spark is not going to go.
This is what we are looking for, to change ourselves. Only we can do it. It's our material. It's my body, my vital, my physical, my mind, my soul, my in a sense that it is given to me for a work, not mine as belonging to me. It is the closest to me with which I can deal. I can do something with it. I can't do with the outer world much, unless, of course, I can create a mess, which we all do. But to really change something, we need to deal with ourselves. So on this beautiful note, maybe we can stop, and next time we can look into the physical body, what it is, and start our journey from the physical to the highest spiritual.
When is the next time?
I think it is in November.
It's the first Sunday. From here on out, we'll be doing the first Sunday of each month, 4 to 6. And
Shall we end with a minute of silence? Would be good, just once.